Kristen Dwyer. You've been elevated to a panelist, so go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's Kristen Dwyer with the Delaware State Education Association. First, I want to thank each of you for coming together for this committee hearing to consider action on Senate Bill 42, and thank you, Senator Tagsin, for working with DSEA to bring this bill forward. Like he said, this is an unprecedented school year. It's a once-in-a-century pandemic that has dramatically changed how our students learn and how our educators deliver instruction, as well as delivery of critical social and emotional support services. This change hasn't been easy for anyone, students, families, or educators. Since last March, educators, including those in administration, have taken a routinized system that they have been professionally trained for and prepared for all their professional lives and quickly adapted it to a new remote or hybrid school setting. Since last March, schools, due to either public health concerns or operational need, have had to switch back and forth from remote to hybrid and then back again. This has created such a disruption in everyone's lives. For educators, it's created increased professional responsibilities, including but not limited to attendance tracking and tracking down, planning and preparation often for 2 classes at once. Most educators are teaching kids in person and online at the same time. They've learned new platforms and they've done more family outreach than ever. For the first time, parents are in the classroom watching what children are learning and how their children learn. And this has resulted in many after-hours conversations with parents on how they can support their students. All the while, our educators are doing this during a pandemic. They've had to support their own families and children during work hours. They've had to quarantine themselves at times from their families, or they've been sick themselves, or they've taken care of sick family members in their household. I know of one particular case where a teacher had COVID. She was quarantining from her family, and she was teaching from a closet because it was the only available space away from her 9-month-old. Any educator today would tell you to focus on what's important and necessary at this time. And for them, surviving is number 1. And 2, focusing on how to engage students in remote environments and how they can get their students to retain the instruction when they're not in person. I'm sure many of you have seen our educators singing, dancing, wearing bright colors, using emojis, avatars, virtual classrooms, anything to keep their kids engaged. And you know what? They don't always get it right. Sometimes they need support, professionally and mentally, without the fear of a permanent scar on their record. Because this year is unlike any other. This bill focuses on what's important, the feedback and support in a coaching and supportive environment. This bill takes away the often immense paperwork and time that's dedicated to meeting the requirements of DPAS. And it does keep our educators on track, and it absolutely ensures observations and feedback happened. Lastly, I just want to make sure I'm doing our educators justice and tell you and emphasize to you that this has been the hardest year of their careers, but in true form, despite their own fears, their own anxieties, their home situations, or even maybe their school's preparedness, they're showing up and they're teaching. They're working 15 hours a day, often late into the evening. They're singing, they're dancing, they're being creative on Zoom, they're cleaning, they're disinfecting. They are reaching out to families, sometimes even in person. They're going above and beyond. By supporting this bill, you are showing them support, you're humanizing them again, and honestly, it's what they need. If you have any specific questions about the bill, I'm happy to answer it. I want to also just thank the Department of Education, who continue to have a supportive and working relationship with DSEA. They are also here to give you any information you may need regarding the bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen, very much